Well, I think mainly because of Give Blood. It goes down in rock and roll history as one of the, most amazing recorded tracks. People have said to me, wow, Give Blood, especially in the States. When
Hmm.
they heard that, it was they went, wow, what an amazing great song and great performance. But also the story behind it is I wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. I
Okay.
turned up a week early, hence no bass player. And it was just a whole day of just ridiculous shit that happened. So we just laid that track. Pete was playing acoustic guitar. Rabbit came in, played a bit of keyboards, and Dave Gilmour played guitar. No click. We just played to the delay. Um, and I don't even know if Pete was ever going to record that song because I turned up a week early because he booked me a week early. um, he didn't have any songs. He was supposed to work with Dave on songs that day. So he went back to his house and grabbed a whole load of demos and chucked them in. Maybe he was intending to do the song. I've never asked him. Would love to. But it was just one of those things. And it turned out to be, an amazing track.
It is indeed. Now I'm actually going to stop you there because I did find a quote from Pete when he was talking about that song in particular, and he said he basically said to Dave, "Do one of those kind of this is me reading a quote from him." He says, "I told Dave, do one of those Ricky Ticky things, and I'll shout 'Give blood' in the microphone every 5 minutes, and let's see what happens." And he said that was his quote from that song, and it is a fantastic track. I'm glad you mentioned that one.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and I don't know. It was just it worked, and we recorded that in we 85. Yeah, it was 1985, and the funny thing was, I had just finished two albums, two tours with Mike Oldfield as a co-producer, engineer, and drummer as well. And it was kind of the first time when we got into 1985, those albums did very well. And it was the first time I was able to kind of just take a little break from working like crazy, basically, you know? And I took up motor racing. Um, and but I backed off work a little bit. I just needed a break. It was just you do at certain times of your life, and I was very lucky to be able to take a break. So it was one of the. I didn't do that many sessions that year, but of course, when Pete calls, I mean, I'm always gonna, because his songs play themselves basically. They're so beautifully constructed is wave your arms about something's going to happen. It's just they literally play themselves. They're great. Um and so I remember those sessions very well.
In terms of
um,
David Gilmour, then you mentioned being there with David. Is that the first time you worked with David, or had you worked with him before that?
First time.
And what was that like? Because obviously he was a legend as well at this point, wasn't he?
The problem was I didn't know who he was. Nobody
Oh,
had
right.
introduced him, and he'd cut his hair real short, so I didn't recognize him.
Oh, wow.
I just thought he was an old session guy, friend of Pete's. and which is hilarious. And so the whole time we're playing that, and I'm going, wow, this guy's actually really good, but I'd never come across him before. We've never done sessions together before. And I when I drove home that night, my wife at the time, she was cooking dinner, and she said, well, how did it go? And I said, well, it went really well, but it was kind of a bit strange because Pete seemed like he wasn't really prepared. Now, I didn't find out that I had turned up when I wasn't supposed to until a year later when I worked with Chris Thomas, who was producing. He told me the whole story. So I was ignorant about all this stuff going on. Um, and I said, yeah. And there was this guitarist. Um, and she said, well, what did he look like? And I said, well, it's kind of a round face, blonde, short hair. And she said, Dave Gilmour. No, no, Dave's got long hair. Yeah, yeah, like 8 years ago. I went, oh shit, really? And then I turned up the next day and I saw this little briefcase with Pink Floyd written on the side. And I went, oh, great. How do I get out of this one? So anyway, we just carried on, and and actually we got on great. And then he ended up playing in the band, in the Deep End band with Pete Townshend. And we did a whole bunch of gigs, and it was great. It was lovely, really lovely.